Rocky Top is ready to roll Thursday night. A very fun in-state battle. Tennessee State making the trip from Nashville. OBC team to take on top 20 Tennessee. The Vols 4-0. 2 weeks into this season. We welcome you here to Knoxville Food City Center. Former Vols Steve Hamer, Andy Brock with you for this one. Steve, this is Tennessee's final tune-up before they go down a gauntlet stretch starting in Vegas next week.
Yeah, you mentioned the perfect word. This is the final tune-up because it only gets tougher. The competition gets ratcheted up from here. So you expect Tennessee to play complementary basketball, offense and defense on both ends of the floor tonight.
We have a very small sample size in terms of a snapshot of this Tennessee team. What have you liked that you've seen from them so far, Steve?
I think they have put some pieces in play. I think they've got a right mixture of players, given the fact that they're deep, athletic, talented, but can they all come together just like a puzzle piece, Andy? Need to see that tonight.
Been passing the ball, they've been rebounding the ball. Tennessee State on the other end. This is going to be a perimeter dominant squad. 94 points per game. They like to shoot the three.
Yeah, 94 points a game. Juxtapose that with what Tennessee does, averaging about 90 points a game. This game is not for the faint of heart, Andy. Not for the faint of heart, man. These guys are going to get up and down the floor tonight.
Tennessee is 4-0 with an average margin of win by 30.5 points. Again, this is their final home game for about a month. They go to Vegas, where they'll likely play 3 teams in the top 100 of Ken Pom, maybe in 3 days. So, huge stretch coming up. Your last chance to really find some things out about your squad.
You're going to find out a lot tonight because Tennessee State is going to go, kind of deep. They'll have like 8 or 9 guys that play about 11.5 minutes per game, so they're fairly deep. They can get after you now.
That ball is poked loose. Nate Ament, his first touch. First Tennessee possession. Gillespie running floater, and he starts to count for the Vols.
That was sweet. They really denied him, trying to get him back to the middle of the court, so he just rejected an on-ball screen, got to the sweet spot with the floater.
Tennessee State returns 3 of their top 4 scores from last season. And again, they like to shoot the 3. They make about 9 a contest. On an early paint bucket to go for the Tigers.
Nice little spin move. Nice spin move there.
Aaron Nkrumah, the senior, averaged 10.9 points a game last season, off to a fantastic start. Here's the starting 5 for Rick Barnes and his squad, the same as the last game, which is the first time Tennessee's gone with a similar starting 5.
Well, you want to see some type of consistency, and Tennessee's off to a good start. Really like Amari Abrams' game, man. That kid, he can be that missing piece, that missing component, Andy, that we talked about, the final puzzle piece to put this team back together.
Louisiana Tech transfer splashes one from distance. He has been in the starting lineup now for Tennessee, back-to-back games. Dante Harris on the right wing. I'm going to say he stepped out of bounds to turnover.
Yeah, Tennessee State was really patient, trying to get the shot that they wanted. Tennessee, on the other end, switched everything, and unfortunate, you had a footer on you, man. It's hard to get those footers off of you and get a good quality shot up.
Tennessee just on Monday, a winner over Rice, 91-66. Abram feeling hot to start this one. Back-to-back triples.
Kind of fell into that, man. He kind of lost his footing. Was going to drive into the paint and just kind of took a couple of steps back and put that one up and in.
What a fantastic spark that would be for Tennessee if Abram can shoot the ball like that this season. And a travel, another turnover for the Tigers.
When you look at Amari Abram, the transfer, unheralded, you expect for him to come out and play well because he's got the type of experience. He's got a dearth and a wealth of experience to complement what Coach Barnes wants offensively and defensively.
Abram was a shooter last year. Made 66 threes for Louisiana Tech. Nate Ament under the basket. That's what he's so good at, rebounding and then making those easy 2s at the rim.
Well, Andy, he's just so long, right? If you don't put a body on Nate Ament, he's going to slither his way to the basket, get his hands on the basketball, and more times than not, get an offensive rebound and put it back in.
Tennessee on an 8-0 run over the last 90 seconds. An impressive start out of the gates. Dante Harris for 3. That's no good.
I thought that was a forced look from Dante Harris.
First three-point attempt for the Tigers. Abram again. Red hot to start this one.
Somebody call the fire department, man. That guy is on fire, Andy. Come on now.
His third triple in as many minutes to start this game. Abram got his first start for Tennessee just on Monday against Rice. Just 2 points, but fantastic defense, and that's why he's in the lineup. But you'll take the good shooting.
Well, you'll take the good shooting tonight because you know you're going to get the defensive effort every single night, because that's what Coach Barnes wants, especially on the perimeter. Just a great addition to the Tennessee basketball roster.
Now, Rick Barnes talked about the impact that Abram provided. He also talked about his transfers that have come in, meshed really well. It's a team that loses a lot of leadership from last season. They reload with some transfer guys, some impact freshmen like Nate Ament, expecting obviously to be one of the best groups in the SEC again.
Well, and these guys come in highly touted. You know, when you have the highest ranked recruit ever in Tennessee basketball history come in and you compliment him with transfer pieces like Amari Abram and Jalen Carey and that like. So you expect for these guys to play well together right away. But it takes time to develop that rapport, to develop that chemistry. And I think tonight is the first glimpse, Andy, that we see of that consistent chemistry thus far. Still early, but like if you're a Tennessee fan, you got to like what you see right now.
Chemistry certainly going to take time. Tennessee's had some slow starts out of the gates in these early non-conference games, but have to be pleased if you're Rick Barnes about this start, first 3 minutes.
Well, the one word that keeps coming to mind is just disjointed. If you're Tennessee, and that's a wonderful drive.
Aaron Nkrumah, his second basket, he wanted a foul on that one as he drove to the lane.
Well, Nkrumah, man, he can do it all. You know, the reigning OVC player of the week, special talent, man. Gonna be a slasher. He's just flat out gonna get after you.
Gillespie looking to send one inside the paint, and Tennessee turns the ball over for the first time.
Well, if you're Felix Akpara, man, on that short roll, you just got to throw the ball up. You got to throw it up because Cade Phillips, as he usually does, is running from that dunker spot on the baseline.
Tennessee team averaging 14 turnovers a game. That has been the one misstep so far early on for this fall squad.
Got to shore that up if you're Tennessee.
Gillespie stopping fire, no good off the rim.
And you don't mind that look from Gillespie because, you know, he's a sharpshooter. He needs to get himself into a rhythm.
Tigers swing out to Harper the second. Can't get it to go off the mark. 0 for 2 start for the Tigers from 3. Tennessee by 9. Gillespie in the paint. He can just get about everywhere on the court with his speed, Steve.
Yeah, because, you know, you get so accustomed to Tennessee running that offense and setting a screen for Gillespie to come out on the perimeter, but he slips the screen and goes baseline. And if you're a defender, man, you got to stay awake and guard every area of the floor.
Gillespie now on the defensive end, able to swipe on away. It's been all Tennessee to start. 13-2 run to start.
Great start if you're a Tennessee basketball fan. Just get the guy falling asleep. Gillespie catching it, going up for the easy 2.
Great start for Tennessee tonight. They lead by 11 in the early go. And we've got a third member of our broadcast crew tonight as we welcome in Sarah Detweiler.
Well, Tennessee is without redshirt sophomore J.P. Estrella, who suffered a left knee injury Monday night against Rice. The injury came as a result of a Rice player falling over his lower leg as he was battling for a rebound late in the first half, and he did not return for the remainder of the game. There is no status on his return table, and his status is day-to-day. As for Barnes and the team, he said they obviously hurt for him and that no one wants to see him back out there more than his teammates, especially given the fact that he missed all but 3 games last season after undergoing a season-ending foot surgery last November, guys.
Yeah, what a start it was for J.P. Estrella. Had career highs in points in his first 3 games. We talked to him after Northern Kentucky last week, and he was on pace for a fantastic start, but it does feel like silver lining, Steve. He avoided major injury.
Yeah, you know, he, like putting popcorn in the microwave, is just heating up, right? Just starting to see him blossom You're starting to see him come out of the shell, man. Offensive rebounding. He's the one paint presence that Tennessee can count on to put the ball in the paint, put the ball on the floor a time or two, and be able to score. So you want to have him, especially for these tune-up games, going into what a great pass, going into next week in Las Vegas.
Flush from Dwayne Brown, assist from fellow big man Jalen Carey. That's another upside for Tennessee. This is maybe the most depth that Rick Barnes has had at the forward position.
Well, and he's going to need that, moving forward, because the challenge is going to be enormous going into SEC play. And, we talked about Las Vegas next week, but, Rutgers is looming. But even after that, you got the likes of Houston, man. They're going to be physical, they're going to be tough, so you need those big bodies.
Gillespie's three off the mark. Dwayne Brown going to get called for a push-off on that rebound attempt.
Yeah, definitely the right call. But you look here. The short roll, the easy dump-off pass. That's the difference between what we saw in the turnover just a few minutes ago with Felix Arpara and Cade Phillips running that dunker position, man. Get the ball up just a little bit higher. Easy opportunity.
You never want to see a teammate go down, but a huge opportunity for a guy like Dwayne Brown, freshman. Didn't play a ton of minutes on Monday night, and a chance now maybe to get more minutes tonight.
Well, Coach Barnes can't say enough about Dwayne Brown and what he brings, the toughness. He's playing beyond his years, and he's going to be called upon to play some big-time minutes for the Volunteers.
Good off-ball defense from Troy Henderson forces another turnover. That's the fourth giveaway from the Tigers.
Yeah, and these are mistakes. If you're trying to spring an upset, Andy, these are the type of mistakes that keep you from that said upset. You got to take care of the basketball. Give yourself a chance, especially offensively, to score.
Obviously, if you're Tennessee, you want JP Estrella for Houston next week, for Rutgers next week. But is there a rush, since you do have so much depth? Obviously, you want him to be healthy and come back when he's ready.
Given the injuries that he's dealt with, there's no rush whatsoever, because you have the luxury of this young man right here, Jalen Carey. Enormous transfer pickup out of the portal from Vanderbilt. If you're a Tennessee basketball fan, he brings back some bad memories, because he gave you all you wanted. 2 games last year, posting a double-double. So you've got that luxury of having an immense amount of talent.
Carey now on the rebound. Such a strong paint presence. Able to rip that one away. Gillespie, Henderson, Dwayne Brown follows his shot. Can't buy the bucket. Who's got it? Jump ball.
Well, Dwayne Brown may have missed that bunny. But, man, look at how, and maybe we can get this on replay later on, but look at how he carved out some space, posted up like a grown man, give me the ball. This is what Tennessee has been missing over the last 2 years.
Not only has Tennessee made it a point to work the ball into paint, but they have been one of the better rebounding teams in the nation. They rebounded 58% of their misses on Monday night against Rice. They hit the offensive glass harder than any team so far this year.
And sometimes when you are playing, again, the word disjointed keeps coming up. So sometimes when you're playing disjointed and you're playing out of rhythm and you're in a scoring drought, you need those easy opportunities.
Really good defense there on that inbounds pass. It forces a timeout from Tennessee State. And it's just been all Tennessee so far, 17-2 run over really the last 6 minutes. Forcing turnovers, finding players in the paint, and of course, three-point stretch from Amari Abram makes a big difference.
Yeah, you're shooting 60% from the three-point line, 3 out of 5, so that's not bad. But it's never a good sign if you're TSU and you're calling your second timeout, in less than 7 minutes of play in a basketball game. So, this could very well be one of those timeouts that if you're coaching TSU, hey guys, we found our bearing. Okay, you've been punched right now. Okay, you perhaps had an uppercut, but now it's time to punch back. Now it's time to punch back. We got to get back, do the things that we need to do the things that we've talked about leading up to this game, and get ourselves a bucket to get ourselves going.
That was head coach Nolan Smith in his first year with Tennessee State. And college basketball fans will obviously recognize that name. All-American at Duke. 2010 national champ with the Blue Devils. spent a lot of time coaching alongside Coach K with the Louisville, Memphis last year, and now his first head coaching position.
You talk about a guy that is highly regarded. You've got a sweet find here of the athletic director, Mickey Allen, Dr. Mickey Allen over at Tennessee State University. That's a good find because this guy has an exceptional background, high-level basketball player, and has been around the game for a long time, man. You talk about the likes of assisting Penny Hardaway down at Memphis, Louisville, and Duke. You know, this is not his first rodeo.
Inherits a team that made it to the semis of the OVC postseason tourney. They return through their top 4 scores. 2-2 to start the year. The Tigers, a couple of wins against D2 programs, then some close losses to Belmont and Western Kentucky.
Yeah, when you look at those close losses, I mean, you're talking about a close loss, and those are quality programs. Western Kentucky and Belmont, there's no shame in going to those places and losing. So, you know, when you have that type of performance, you expect that type of performance night in and night out. And he's got to be frustrated right now that they came in here and are getting smacked around a little bit by the Volunteers.
Tennessee State, they shot 24 threes in their last game Sunday against Western Kentucky. They normally shoot it above 25 a game. So far tonight, just 2 attempts.
Well, what you have to do against a long, athletic Tennessee basketball team is you've got to try to, set the on-ball screen, perhaps some DHOs, some dribble handoffs, get Tennessee in rotation, and hopefully get them in rotation, and that leads to wide-open threes.
Free throws good from Ethan Berg, sophomore guard. Tennessee leads it by 17. 8-0 run for the Vols ongoing. Here's Khalil London trying to fire above Dwayne Brown. Tigers retain it. And Brown just chaotic on the defensive end. Abram the other way, going hard to the rim and a swat. The Tigers. Petrie got a piece of it.
That's really good defense. You have to have guys get back and limit Tennessee's second chance opportunities. But going on the offensive end for the Tigers, you got to get good shots. Some of these shots, like this shot here, I don't think that's particularly a good shot because that's a one-pass shot. You really got to move the basketball around, make Tennessee work, and try to get your best one.
Tigers 0 for 3 from 3. Tennessee cruising so far. Mari Abram has been a huge spark to start this one for Tennessee. 9 points, 3 triples, Steve.
The sweet stroke. Sometimes, man, when you're off balance and you're hot, you're going to put it up and you're going to make it anyway. But you got to find that hot hand, and that's what Tennessee's done thus far. Now, Andy, you look at Amari Abram, he's averaging about 14 minutes a game. He is laying claim right now and saying, I want more playing time. I'm going to give you all I got on the defensive end, and when I can do this on the offensive end, give me some more playing time.
Certainly an experienced career up to this point. It's his 4th team. Obviously fantastic year at Louisiana Tech a season ago. Was a 3-point shooter, made 66 of them, averaged 12.3. But the reason he was in the starting lineup for the first time Monday was how well he plays defensively. That's so important for Rick Barnes' team.
Well, if you've been around Coach Barnes and that staff long enough, especially at practices and at shoot-around, you know that he demands high-level attention to detail, especially on the defensive end. If you don't play defense, you're just flat out not going to play. And I think Amari has really, again, laid claim to the fact that I'm going to give you all I got on the defensive end, and that's going to lead to more production from the offensive end.
You could be a pure defender on this team. You will get minutes. Offense just a bonus. Abram has shown that he can knock down the 3. Now, last game, Coach Barnes said maybe 1 too many bad shots, a couple of turnovers for him. Consistency is going to be the big key there.
Well, and he's got to carve out that playing time because Tennessee has been without Bishop Boswell now for the 3rd game in a row. So you've got to make sure that you carve out that playing time and maximize each and every opportunity that you have, within the 94 feet of this basketball court.
Best gear on the team, best accessories. Got to be Amari Abram, right?
No doubt. No doubt.
And the headband and then the Short sleeve only on the left side. I like it.
Well, and he alternates too. You know, you got the flowing locks of hair. You know, some good. I believe they call it good lettuce. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
good lettuce.
That's right. Look good, play good.
You know, my lettuce left me a long time ago, so I'm jealous. Anytime I see someone with good lettuce, man, I'm jealous.
You know, they got those things called wigs. You can do that. No one's going to stop you.
Hey, man, you never know. I may just show up with a toupee, right?
I wouldn't say anything.
Just a little toupee.
It'd be normal. Bring back in Sarah, who's got more on Amari Abram.
Yeah, guys. Well, in terms of the starting lineup, Coach Barnes said that the guy that's going to win that 5th spot consistently is going to be the best defensive guy in the group, the most consistent guy. And that's why Bishop was starting. And defensively, Amari earned that start Monday night. Defensively, he said he's had 2 great back-to-back games, but it's a byproduct of what he's been doing in practice.
Thanks, Sarah. It was 4 different lineups in 4 games to start for Tennessee. This one's the first consistency. Last season, Tennessee only had 3 different lineups, so a little bit different here early non-conference, trying to find those right pieces.
Well, if you're Tennessee, you got to be cognizant of the fact that, you know, the playing time is going to get reduced as you get into the teeth of the season. Coach Barnes can't afford to go 13 guys deep against Houston, right? It's just not going to happen. So that live audition period maybe going to start to work its way out and dwindle as the season progresses.
How much do you expect in a tournament next week, like the Players Era Invitational, playing #1 Houston on Tuesday, aiming for 3 off the mark? How much do you see that dwindle down, or you start to stay the same as you have these first 5 games?
I think you're going to start to see it dwindle down. He's going to go with the guys that he can count on, because that's going to be a high caliber duel in the desert for Tennessee basketball in Houston. You know, Houston, by all accounts, again, one of the best teams in the entire country. They're still just as good as they were last year. So I know they've had a few challenges this year down, you know, with Auburn and all of that. But man, it's going to be a really good basketball team. So if you're Coach Barnes, you got to go with the people that have got you there, right? The most productive 5 on the floor.
Talk about really finding out what you're made of. Rutgers on Monday, Houston Tuesday, and then a TBD 3rd team. You could be playing 3 games in 3 days. Phillips, massive swat in the corner.
And that young man's got to learn to get that shot off a little quicker than that. You know, especially with Tennessee's length. And someone flying at you like, hey, Phillips, man, that was just, you know, gather and go up.
It has been all Tennessee defense. Henderson swipes. Dante Harris, a good job. Transition defense to force the baseline throw.
Well, you look at some stats, and these stats are going to be very ugly if you're a Tiger fan, man. You got 5 turnovers in the last 9 minutes, no field goals in almost 4 minutes. You know, scoring drought of nearly 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Again, you're trying to spring an upset, it ain't going to happen. You got to get yourself going and get better looks, take care of the basketball.
Discussion in the paint here. Amen and Petrie working on some positioning there for this inbounds. Tennessee State, obviously, you're playing for March. This is your toughest challenge of the season so far. And a good chance to find out what you're made of against the top 20 team in the nation. Amen, well, off the mark.
This is a good matchup for Tennessee State, because you're not going to see this for the rest of the season in the conference. You're not going to see this type of talent, this type of size, this depth, this skill. That's not throwing shade, but you know, it's a different look.
Another Tennessee State turnover. Tennessee has capitalized. That's 8 for the Tigers. Akpara inside has his shot rejected. Jacoby Gillespie gives Tennessee their 11th point off a turnover here.
Yeah, Jacoby Gillespie is quickly, you know, becoming a pickpocket artist, right? Just gets his hand out there, man, swipes it. He's just so skilled at both ends of the floor. And I think Tennessee, will rely on him. As far as Jacoby can take them, that's how far Tennessee's going to go. Because they need him to score, they need him to defend, they need him to be a leader.
No question his skill is there, Steve, but how important is it going to be for Jacoby Gillespie to be a leader in his 1 year here?
Coach Barnes is still looking for that vocal leader, and he's certainly hoping that Jacoby Gillespie can take that mantle and run with it. But he's a quiet guy, wanting to lead by example.
Big time putback. Travis Harper, the second, got up there.
Man, Travis Harper just got up like his alarm clock just went off.
Big time Cram. Has averaged 16.5 points in 4 games. Gets on the board and ends that scoring drought. The Tigers. Henderson off the mark. The board. Nkrumah the other way. A little Euro step through the lane. Lucky to not turn that one over. Tigers inevitably do.
So if you're Tennessee State, man, you got one good look. You want to try to put that together. Get another good look, but you turn the ball over, and that's not a good thing.
Gillespie, 12 on the shot clock. Looking for Okpara. Maybe some contact. Ball flies away. Tigers, Nkrumah, that's their guy. Can't hit it.
Really needed that one to fall. You got several stops in a row if you're the Tigers, so keep doing your job.
Gillespie on the other end. No good.
Yeah, I think you're starting to see some tired legs on both ends of the floor.
Harper baseline. Another giveaway. Turnover number 10 for Tennessee State. Amen. Look at the dime to carry.
Good vision, man. Is he wearing binoculars out there? Because, man, that was a dime that he just gave to the running big man, Jalen Carey.
The talented freshman can do a little bit of everything, and a beautiful bounce pass.
Man, great bounce pass leads to a great finish. Need more of that if you're Tennessee fans from Mr. Jalen Carey.
A lot of really impressive numbers on this graphic. Nolan Smith, in his first year head coach with this Tiger program, brings a fantastic resume. Already mentioned it. Player of the years across the board, All-Americans, and then a national championship. Obviously, just one of the better college basketball players of the last 25 years, Steve.
What a great resume. But even beyond that, man, he is a terrific person. Because when you read articles about him, when you talk to people that know him, man, he is the type of guy that you want at the helm of your program. Sure, man, he's a national champion and an All-American and all that, man. But when you put that together and couple that with him being a wonderful human being, good things happen.
He is just getting started in his young coaching career. Obviously learned from some of the greats, has some high praise from some of the greats. Welcome back in, Sarah.
Yeah, that's right, Andy. During his playing days, head coach Nolan Smith was one of the most decorated guards at Duke under Coach K, leading the Blue Devils to 3 consecutive ACC championships and a national title in 2010. And after playing in the NBA for a couple of seasons, he joined the staff at his alma mater for 6 seasons, from 2016 to 2022, before getting his first head coaching opportunity with Tennessee State this season. And in talking about Coach Smith, Coach K said he was a joy to coach and our fans loved him. They called him the people's champ. He was also an exceptional assistant coach. Now he's ready to be an exceptional head coach at Tennessee State. I'm so incredibly proud of him.
Very high praise for Nolan Smith. Well deserved. We've got a lot of legends in this building today. I mean, you included, Steve. We got Chris Lofton in the building, too. Bobby Mays in the building.
Hey, look, you got some high-level basketball players. You can leave me out of that conversation for sure because, nice move there. But, you got Bobby Mays in the building, great Tennessee ball pass. You got a Hall of Famer in Chris Lofton, who is going to be inducted into the University of Tennessee Athletics Hall of Fame class of 2026. And then you add in someone like a Nolan Smith. That's a pretty good threesome right there.
Wow. Jimmy Dykes is here too.
Jimmy Dykes, man. I tried to give Jimmy Dykes my headset. He rejected it.
He wouldn't take it.
No, he wouldn't take it.
It's off now. He didn't have a suit.
This seat rightfully belongs to him, you know? Some might say he's iconic.
I'd say so. Stars are out for this matchup. In-state, too far for the Tigers to travel today. Good reception for Nolan Smith as he walked in to see Coach Barnes, obviously coach of a lot of experience, and Rick Barnes with the first-year head coach in Nolan Smith. Gillespie to the rim, and there was Petrie. Did not make that easy. Draws the foul.
Meet me at the rim. I think we've seen this movie before with Jacoby Gillespie. Going up with it, man. He threw it down just a few games ago and challenged again. But, you know, going back to Tennessee State and what they need to do to get back in this basketball game, you know, I thought that they were going to extend some pressure, perhaps 94 feet, try to get Tennessee to turn the ball over a little bit. So I think that they've got to get back to that, man. Speed up the pace. Again, they're averaging 94 points a game for a reason. They want to turn you over, get clean looks, shoot the three. So they need to give it their best to try to speed up Tennessee some.
Jacoby Gillespie fearlessly bombarding the paint there. Troy Henderson, good defense. And it has just been a tough night for Tennessee State, working with this Tennessee defensive wall.
And I think this is the best that Tennessee has played defensively thus far this season. But you also have some self-inflicted wounds if you're the Tigers from Tennessee State University, man. 11 turnovers here in the first half, man, is just, quite frankly, unacceptable. And a lot of those are just, again, unforced.
Tennessee State, their bread and butter. They make about 9 threes a game. They're 0 for 8 so far. Jalen Carey dumps it off to Okpara. Contact, deserves 2 free throws after that.
One of the things that I'm seeing over the last game and a half now from Jalen Carey is that he's a willing passer, right? Good pocket pass there from Jacoby Gillespie. And it's just a subtle drop-off to his fellow big man.
Felix Okpara now with 4 points. He's coming off a career-high night Monday against Rice. His first 20-point game as a Vol. 8 for 10 from the floor.
He's becoming more well-rounded. Just a possession or two ago, he stepped over in the corner and knocked down a 3. He's added that to his arsenal and his repertoire this year. If he can consistently do that and make a defender close out, that bodes well for Tennessee.
A slow start out of the gates for Okpara, but for Tennessee, obviously not worried about Felix. You've seen a full year of production from him.
Well, you know he's going to be a great shot blocker. You know he's going to command the paint, and he's only going to get better offensively. You know, he's going to be able to, again, get a couple of feet in the paint, get the ball, have a commanding presence, make a turn, make a dribble, and score the basketball.
Led the team last year, 64 blocks. Was the recipient of a plethora of lobs against Rice. Him and Jacoby Gillespie looked really good in terms of their chemistry, and that's just another thing with Jacoby Gillespie kind of running the show point guard wise. He's still trying to find that chemistry with these bigs.
Well, I've said it before, Andy, but the only way to have an experience is to have an experience. And having these guys playing together in meaningful action, like the Mercer and like Northern Kentucky and like North Florida, and tonight against Tennessee State, these pieces will start to come together because these guys will learn each other's games.
Full head of steam for Carey. Okpara.
You know, what can you say? You know, someone like a Jalen Carey who's not afraid to dribble the ball off the court with a full head of steam. But again, he's a willing passer, and you just throw the ball up when you have the type of length that Tennessee's got.
Okpara trying to block one on the other end. A foul and 1. Much needed for the Tigers.
Yeah, it's a really good backdoor cut. But here, Jalen Carey, man, not dribbling with his head down, dribbling with the purpose to keep the head up to see, man, is the defense going to close out? If so, I'm going to throw it up. If they didn't close out, I had a feeling he was going to come in there with some authority.
These Tennessee bigs are not one-dimensional. We've seen them now shoot the three, throw a lob, and then obviously post up and get some rebounds.
It's almost, Andy, an embarrassment of riches. Because, you know, you have someone that's waiting, like Kate Phillips, you know, that wants playing time. You know, you got JP Estrella that's hurt. You got Jalen Carey. They've got a lot of pieces right now.
Let Jalen Carey run the point right now. He's got 3 assists.
Jalen Carey, you know, again, another pass, another assist, man. He is padding. Stat sheet stuffer right now.
That is his second foul, so that's a stat you don't want. Step aside it. Tennessee shooting the ball well. They're 5 of 10 from 3. Ethan Bird connected on that last one.
Ethan Bird having another follow-up from what he did the last game. You know, he's getting better and better, becoming more acclimated, more assimilated to what Coach Barnes wants and expects of his guards. Again, another piece that is going to pay dividends as this season goes on.
Berg arrived in Tennessee early September. Immediately got to work, added some weight. It has looked very comfortable for a guy who's only been here 2 months.
And he's only going to get better. You know, he's played basketball in Israel at a very high level. He's not going to be intimidated in these type of environments. Those are the type of turnovers that Coach Barnes is referring to, right? Those are not good turnovers. Those are live ball turnovers that lead to, you know, sometimes open looks on the other end.
Para got a piece of that. Nkrumah, no good. Kate Phillips the board.
Kate Phillips, man, asking him to the block party.
Tennessee State now 0 for 9 from 3. Henderson, back iron, Phillips, Bird. That one off the mark. Tennessee comes up empty there, but still a comfortable lead here in half one. Kobe Gillespie has been everywhere here in half number 1. 8 points and 4 assists. He's sharing the rock and doing some scoring as well.
Well, he is the quintessential point guard for today's game. He's a scoring guard, he's a willing passer, and he's a distributor of what, you know, Coach Barnes is trying to get in terms of information to his basketball team. And oh, by the way, he can score it too, right? You know, he's got the up, the finish, the authority at the rim, and he's got the smooth stroke from the perimeter.
First year as a Vol from Maryland, where he was fantastic last year for the Terps, 14.7 points a game. Spent some time at Belmont in Nashville, but he's really a hometown kid. About 72 minutes east is Greenville High School, where he was 2-time state champ, multi-sport athlete. Has found himself now in a Tennessee jersey, almost like a dream come true for him.
Yeah, he talked about being home. He's home, right? There's a completely different feeling of playing for your home state. And Jacoby Gillespie is again following, you know, just a couple of years ago, a tremendous transfer in Dalton Connect. And last year, tremendous transfer in Chaz Lanier. So this is just the next iteration of a wonderful, wonderful pickup for Tennessee.
Gillespie had football offers from Power 5 programs. Obviously went the basketball route, but you could see football tendencies in the way he plays on the court.
He's not slight of frame,
nope.
You know, for that size, man. You know, got some shiftiness to him. He could probably do anything that he wanted to do. But again, you know, he's a great kid. He's humble. He didn't come in here demanding a certain amount of playing time. Didn't come in here demanding that I get a certain number of shots up. He's just hungry and humble and wanting to score.
Abram has been red hot from 3. Can't hit that one. Can't grab that board. Other way, a jam for the Tigers. Travis Harper the second with the flush.
Nice defense from Tennessee State. You could use just a few more of those easy looks.
Gillespie working with Phillips, takes the contact to the rim, makes it look so smooth.
Smooth operator, man. Just poking and prodding into the paint, and just, you know, when the defense doesn't come over to cover the help side, just lay it up with ease.
17 points for Gillespie on Monday against Rice, had a season high of 8 assists. Coach Barnes said his best game in a Tennessee uniform.
So you look at this here, and Tennessee State could use just a few more of those easy looks. But on the other end here, man, that's just, you got to come over if you're Tennessee State, man, with more authority on the help side defense.
Gillespie just really learning how to run that Rick Barnes offense. He's been handed the keys, but that comes with a lot of responsibility, a lot of newness. Still trying to just fully figure that out and build chemistry with the rest of his now new teammates.
And have you ever heard of the car, the Gremlin, or the Yugo?
Talk to me.
Well, those are older model cars, right? You know, some might say they're not classics, but it's not like Jacoby was handed the keys to one of those models. This is a Maserati that he was handed the keys to, and he's been entrusted to make sure that he keeps that going, because there is no harder position in basketball for Coach Barnes than the point guard.
Zakai Ziegler did it so well for 4 years. And was really the heartbeat of this Tennessee team. Not an easy player to try to replace. Gillespie's going to be asked to do some things very similar, but in a different way, completely different player.
Kind of feels like, Andy, Tennessee State is finally settling in now, playing better defensively, playing better offensively.
Gillespie that time lost it. And now Amon on an island. 2 Tigers the other way. That's a long 2 from Harris. Tip back up. Nkrumah can't buy it. Good effort.
So now all of a sudden you're starting to see that old enigma for Tennessee thus far this season, the turnovers, the careless turnovers.
Amen going head-to-head right there with Williams off the mark. Nkrumah other end, and finally a 3 falls for the Tigers, their first.
Yeah, now they're settling in, making Tennessee call the timeout. Settling in. Now you cut the lead down to 19. You know, as much as you would like for if you're Tennessee State University, you would like to keep just little by little getting these open looks, because eventually these shots are going to start to fall.
It's a 40-minute game. Tennessee obviously got out to a hot start. Tennessee State trying to neutralize that a touch. Again, they make a lot of their living from the 3. Good to see that first one go in.
Well, sometimes you got to withstand the early onslaught, and Amari Abram was there with that early onslaught. He supplied those 3 threes. But since then, Tennessee is now 5 of 13 from the 3-point line. So they've cooled off just a little bit. Overall for the game, they're shooting still 48% from the floor, but they also have 6 turnovers. So, Tennessee is kind of out of rhythm now.
.90 seconds in this first half. Tennessee catches a quick timeout. Looking to end the half strong. Lead by 19. Wayne Brown just lost it. Tennessee turnover. Team 7th.
Yeah, another unforced turnover. Another unproductive offensive series from Tennessee. This is what the hang-up is for Tennessee basketball sometimes. Here in this basketball game, you built up enough of a lead that you might not necessarily have to worry about that. But I can promise you, starting next week against Rutgers on Monday, that could lead to a loss.
In and out for Williams. The putback, Nkrumah off the mark. Minute remaining in the half. Abram has 9 points in this first 20. Knocked down 3 threes in the first 3 minutes. Gillespie has been fantastic. 10 points, 4 assists. Dump off for Carey, too strong. Fighting for his own board, can't corral it.
So another missed opportunity for Tennessee. If you're TSU, man, you got to capitalize on that, because what you did is you gave Tennessee the last shot for the half.
Quick fire there. Shot clock now off for Tennessee. Trying to push the lead above 20. Amen's going to go ahead and fire, and he knocks it in.
Well, you got to be thankful that he knocked that one in, because he shot that with entirely too much time left in the first half, giving Tennessee State the last opportunity.
6 made threes for Tennessee in the first half. Tigers can't buy the bucket at the horn. And Tennessee commanding lead, 22, and they have a pretty good record when they're 10 plus at the half.
Yeah, but there's a lot to work on.
Sarah is with Coach Barnes.
Coach, you started Amari Abram, and he started out 3. What did you see out of him early?
We know Mo can shoot the ball. It's all the other things we're looking for with him. Then after he makes some shots, he goes in and takes the shot that you couldn't make. And he's going to learn to play the game the right way, and we love him, but he's going to learn to play the right way.
And what stood out to you about your team's defensive efforts?
We were good, for the most part, but there's still we didn't do a very good job in the ball screen. Post guys come up, they overrun the play, and that's something that we've worked on for weeks now, and we got to get better with it.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.
I don't know, Coach Barnes. I think Sarah could have made some of those threes. Tennessee made 6 of them in a really good first half. They lead Tennessee State 22 going to the break. On the horizon, in-state battle, Tennessee and Tennessee State. It's been all Vols as they look to go 5-0 to start this early season. Welcome you back here to Food City Center. Steve Hamer, Andy Brock, and Sarah Detweiler with you for this one. And Steve, again, this is another non-conference tune-up right before a big stretch of play. How do you feel like Tennessee's handled it tonight?
I think Tennessee has acquitted themselves very well thus far tonight. But again, we talked about that enigma of that lull, right? A scoring drought. But for the most part, Tennessee handled their business.
Sarah's got Coach Nolan Smith on the other side for Tennessee State. Sarah?
Coach, your team started to find their rhythm late in the first half. How do you keep that going in the second?
Just continue to play fast. We've done a great job rebounding the ball. Surprisingly, we're out-rebounding them right now, which is a tall task against a really good rebounding team. But we play fast and continue to find great shots. Hopefully our offense will get going in the second half.
And Aaron leads the team with 10 points. What more do you want to see out of him these next 20 minutes?
Just defense. Defense, continue to get stops. We know if we get stops on defense and run out, make this a game.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Tennessee State is a good perimeter team, but Tennessee, they've done a good job of shooting from the three-point line, Steve. 6 of 14 in the first half.
Yeah, they got off to a really good start. Amari Abram knocked down his first 3, and I think that kind of matriculated through the rest of the team. And you had Felix Akpara stepping outside and taking 3. Again, Abram taking the 3. And then finally, you have someone like Nate Amen who knocks a 3 down right before the half.
Tennessee State did do a good job in terms of rebounding. Are out-rebounding the Volunteers. 9 offensive boards to Tennessee's 4. But it hasn't been much of an issue for Tennessee. They've been able to find their way in the paint.
Yeah, and I think that's a little bit of a misnomer right there when you talk about being out-rebounded by 2. You have, but I think it speaks to more of the fact that Tennessee was able to have the way to put the ball in the basket, which you're not going to get a rebound. It doesn't count if it goes through the net, right? So I think that's a little bit of a misnomer, but look for Tennessee to kind of shore that up. Now, if you're Nolan Smith with TSU, man, you got to continue to get good shots, pound the glass, and go after it.
Early lob throw for Akpara. He'll draw 2 shots. Felix 7 points in the first half in 17 minutes.
Sometimes if you're Felix Akpara, if you don't catch the ball cleanly on the first look, it makes it more difficult because you get out of sorts, your timing, you're off just a little bit. So he's got to get better, right? The hands are going to get better as he becomes a little bit more in tune to the passes that he's going to receive from someone like a Jacoby Gillespie.
This is Tennessee's final 20 minutes before you play Rutgers in Las Vegas, the MGM Grand Garden Arena. What do they need to do here to make you feel confident with those next 3 games?
For me, Andy, it is consistency. You want to put together back-to-back good performances because the film doesn't lie. And I'm going to tell you, oh, nice layup here. Nice use of the left hand there for Jacoby Gillespie. The film doesn't lie. So you want a good film session tomorrow before you head to Vegas. So back-to-back halves has got to be, your target if you're Coach Barnes.
And a good answer on the other end. Travis Harper the second. Trying to get the Tigers going offensively in the second half. They only made 6 field goals in that first half. That's the fewest against Tennessee this season.
Yeah, that's his 3rd field goal. He's a good-looking player. Got some springs in the steps. Shoots it with confidence. Really good asset for Tennessee State.
Gillespie from the top of the key. Can't hit it. Jacoby is 0 for 4 from distance. Nkrumah inside. There's Harper the second. Nate Ament learning how to play some key perimeter defense. Nkrumah met Ament. Force a loose pass. Abram. Met really tangled up, and a jump ball called will go the other way.
Fans are definitely not going to be excited about that call because, oftentimes when you see a defender reach down, that's going to be an automatic foul call. But if you're Nate Ament, you got to go up stronger than that, man. You're going to find yourself in situations like this because people are going to challenge you. You're going to have to find a way to go up stronger.
He meant 6 points on 2 of 6 shooting. Tennessee State's going to give it right back.
This is the bugaboo that got them in this type of trouble in the first half. Just turnover after turnover after turnover.
That is turnover number 16 for Tennessee State. You have to credit Tennessee defensively. They have certainly not made it easy. Tennessee on the other end, 7 turnovers.
Well, the Vols just keep coming at you in waves. We talked about they've got the bodies, they got the manpower. They just keep coming at you. And Nate Ament, again, he is the type of player that he can get it going at any time. May miss a couple in a row, but slowly but surely, he's going to heat up.
Ament his second 3 tonight.
Yeah, you look at this flare screen set by Felix Akpara to spring Nate Ament open, and he just shoots it in rhythm.
And that shooter's touch for the big man. He's got 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. A lot of expectations for that young man. Going to have a lot of NBA scouts in Vegas checking him among other really talented players out. But so far, back-to-back SEC Freshman of the Week. Check that off. Great start. Has definitely risen to the occasion. Good pass there to Akpara. He leads the team in scoring and rebounds, but it's about to get more physical for him in the coming days.
Yeah, and every opportunity that he has, and that's a hard foul from Nate Ament, but every opportunity that he has to be pushed around a little bit, it's only going to make him better.
Felix Akpara, slight limp on the defensive end.
Looks like he's walking a little gingerly, but the ever-present Chad Newman, the team trainer, is not coming to his aid, so hopefully it's something that won't be too bothersome.
And Tennessee is already down JP Estrella. Holding the ankle.
Landed a little awkwardly there.
So another interesting point is Tennessee's about to go through a grueling stretch where they're playing 4 games in 8 days. As you get late in the second half, does that come to your mind as a coach? No, you gotta have your guys fresh for 3 next week.
Yeah, I don't think so because you're extremely deep. if you didn't have the type of depth, then that would be something that's fairly bothersome.
Amen rising up, almost a massive poster. He'll settle for 2 shots.
Wow. What was I just saying about him just being a little bit more aggressive, going up a little stronger than that? I think he may have heard me over here.
JP Estrella like that one. So close.
But he's got that in his game as well, man. He can rise up with the best of them and finish with authority at the rim. The one thing, Andy, that sets Nate Ament apart is that he's hungry. He's hungry to learn, and he's hungry to get better each and every day.
He is up 20 pounds since he committed in April, and Tennessee's coaching staff says he's not done. Still growing into this system. He's going to have to face some really good defenders in conference play and over the next few weeks. Cade Phillips has been really good defensively tonight. Another swat for him. Ament got a piece of that one. Nkrumah, 7 on the shot clock. Nkrumah, corner. Got it. Harper the second, another 3.
Cash money from the corner. That's really good offense from Tennessee State. Again, they're settling in.
Phillips leaves it for Carey. Back to Phillips. Got it and the foul. Strong finish for Cade Phillips.
One of the things that we haven't talked about is that, again, Tennessee can employ any number of bigs on the floor when they want. But those 2 bigs, they play well off of one another. Look at that pass. You take the pass back. You finish with it. There is no unselfishness in this Tennessee basketball team, and it leads to those type of point-blank opportunities.
First 2 points for Cade Phillips. Averaged 4.5 a season ago, back for his junior year. Can't hit the free throw. Tennessee has got the lead to 26.
So if you're Tennessee State, set an on-ball screen.
Harper chucking it up off the mark.
I like using that ball screen. If you're, Tennessee State, if you're Harper.
Another physical drive for Ament. Takes the contact and the foul. 5 fouls in the early going this half for Tennessee State. Tennessee's got the lead. Tennessee State 6 fouls in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Starting to become pretty physical. Nate Ament, a good start to this final 20. 11 points for him and 4 rebounds. And Steve, you've liked the way he's been physical at the rim in this half.
Well, I think for Nate Ament, the challenge is, he's a little undersized in terms of not having that grown man's body just yet. When you look at the measurables here, 6'10", 207. So when he arrived on campus, he's 6'10", about 187. So he's getting bigger, he's getting stronger. And every time that he gets hit, kind of like right before we went to break, a rough foul, a tough foul, then it's only going to make him stronger and make him better. You see right here, man, guys are going to challenge you. They're going to push a little bit. And he's got to get used to that because he's going to be the focal point of everyone's scout. He and Jacoby Gillespie are going to be that focal point.
Well, he's got the target on his back, one, just from his ranking as a freshman, 5-star, top 5 recruit. But then also now you're going to get game plan because you're one of the top scorers, one of the go-to guys on this team. So you're just going to have a lot of guys giving it their best. And with his height, he's going to have to play inside, and he's going to face some physical guys. But right there, he's going to earn 2 shots just for being a presence.
And it's going to make him better. Because one thing that Nate Ament is not going to do is that's back down. He ain't going to back down. So when you look at what he is doing right now, he's going to face those hostile environments, going to Kentucky and going to Florida. So not only are you going to have the 5 in front of you on the floor that, that you're the target, you got 20,000 in the stand that know how good you are. So that's going to make him better and better and better in terms of a basketball player.
Able to knock in both of those free throws. Amen's got 13 now. Another 3 fired from Tennessee State. Foul on the floor. It's on Carey.
Carey was a little lackadaisical there in his box out. This is the type of game for a Jalen Carey. The physicality is being ratcheted up just a little bit. It's a tough man's game.
Jalen Carey kind of came to Amen's aid. Another big cram. Harper the second, rising up. Jalen Carey came to Nate's aid on that hard foul before the break. Let's throw it to Sarah. She's got more on Jalen Carey.
Yeah, Jalen delivered his best game as a Vol with 9 points, 5 rebounds, and a strong defensive minutes against Rice on Monday night. And in the eyes of Coach Barnes, he believes that's because Carey has been more focused over the last week. When asked about what has contributed to better focus lately, Carey was pretty honest, saying probably from sitting on the bench. It really makes you think about a lot of stuff and the ways you can just improve and get better. He even shared how Coach Barnes told him that until he starts getting more dialed in, he's going to sit over there. For Carey, he's taken that personally and got after it by being more vocal defensively, more aggressive on the boards, and more connected with his teammates on the floor.
Yeah, Jalen is the son of Vernon Carey Sr., Miami national champ in football, 8-year NFL career with the Dolphins, and kind of saw some of the movement of a football player when he was getting those and one off the free throw rebounds. He's got such a physical presence. Again, it's consistency is a big word for a lot of these new guys on the team for Tennessee.
Man, he's got some mitts too. I'm going to tell you, every time I shake that young man's hand, man, I got big hands too, but he just kind of swallows mine. So he is the type of guy right here this is his game. That's his game right there. Carving out space underneath the basket, putting someone in a lockup, and then there's nothing that you can do. He's just going to just turn around and put it up.
Tough two for Jalen Carey. It's that one to go for his 6th point of the evening. Tennessee leads by 28. Made 4 of their last 4 from the floor. Nkrumah gives it away. Amen sliding and can't find a home for that pass.
Looking at this replay, look at the feet in the paint right there. That's where you want to catch the ball. Ideally, as a big guy, man, once you've got 2 feet in the paint, your defender is firmly entrenched on your back. Put your hands out, call for the ball. Once you catch it, man, you just turn around and put it up and in.
Carey called for the foul there. That's going to be his 4th.
Those are the type of giveaway fouls. If you're Jalen Carey, again, you're playing a great basketball game right now. You're passing the ball well, you're finishing well, but now you force coach's hands and he's got to take you out.
Amen gets it in the wing, looking for Dwayne Brown. That ball's kicked. Amen not afraid to make a pass right from the perimeter inside.
No, he's not. And that really makes him special because he can do it all.
Can't hit that 3. Back out to him. Amen. Up strong. Can't buy 2, but another strong effort at the rim.
So you talk about maturity and growth. Each possession, you see him getting better and better. You see the aggression ratcheted up just a little bit. You didn't see that in the first half, okay? But you know why you didn't see that in the first half? Because, he's feeling it out. Teams are being physical with him. And now in the second half, you see that, you know what, man? I'm going to give you some of what I got as well.
Are you a nickname guy, Steve?
No. I don't think so.
Hey, man, he's going to be an NBA player, right?
Oh, yeah.
This could be your time to moniker a nickname, maybe workshop a little bit.
I'll have to consult a wordsmith, maybe.
Yeah.
You got to come up with one together.
The Killer? Huh? To start.
Yeah, that's a start. I like that.
A lot of people go with the initials now. NA. I don't know if that works.
I don't know if that one's applicable.
No. Ah! That one took me a minute, Steve. Amen. Bothered on that shot. Here's Dwayne Brown. 3 freshmen in the game right now for Rick Barnes. Gillespie can't hit the 3.
Really good box out by Tennessee State there.
Nkrumah off the glass. Great finish. Nkruma's got 14.
Nkrumah's a good-looking player, man. There's a reason why he's the OVC Player of the Week. He can finish. He's a slasher to the basket. Now, if you're Tennessee State, put together a couple of efforts here on the defensive end in a row. Try to get some stops.
Henderson off the feed from Ament. Not quite. And Ament whistled on the foul on the rebound.
When you go back and you look at this, man, just slashing to the basket, going strong. Might have been an and one there. But I like the fact that this team is not quitting. They're not mailing it in. They're not stopping. Because, this, again, if you're Tennessee State University, this is a live audition for you as well. You want to make sure that you put your best on film so that when coach looks at that film, he can say, man, you didn't quit. Even though, you're down near half, you didn't quit. So if you don't quit now, you won't be quitting later.
Important minutes down the stretch for Tennessee State. They forced Tennessee to miss their last 4 field goals. Dante Harris, 3 points, 0 for 5 from the floor. He's looking to get it going. Working on Brown. Bit of a height difference there. Harris will pull up and can't hit.
I don't think that's the best look. If you're Harris.
And Henderson, one of the better assist to turnover ratios in the SEC. Troy Henderson that time just got his eyes a bit too out in front.
And that comes from not playing a whole lot with your teammates. Again, the connectedness. That pass will be there later on in the season.
London on the drive. Dwayne Brown. He's given good minutes off the bench.
Tennessee State's not utilizing that. Tennessee is switching on ball screen, so you got a big on a small, but you also on the interior, you got one of your bigs on a small. It's the time to get the ball inside, right? Don't settle. Don't go to the shake and bake and try to create your own shot. Just make basketball a simple game, man. Utilize the mismatch.
London with 3 on the shot clock. Gillespie has just been a thief tonight. 3 steals, but the amount of deflections he's had too.
Always has his hands in the passing lane. Always around the basketball here, right here. You put the ball down, put it in front of you. More than likely, it's going to get taken.
1.5 on the shot clock. Not a ton of time, and that does not hit the rim. Tennessee ball.
Good defensive set for Tennessee. But you look at the stat sheet. The drought that Tennessee is susceptible to from time to time. It's now over 2 minutes and 10 seconds. You need someone to be a stopgap here, to get a good look without turning the ball over.
Gillespie fighting for it back after he lost it, and a Tennessee turnover. The team's 12th turnover. The drought continues here for Tennessee here in the second half. Nolan Smith coached up his guys. Again, this is a great test. Their hardest of the season as they will be looking towards OVC play. And they've got some love in the preseason poll. Pick 4, they got a first place vote. Again, they returned 3 of their 4 scorers as a top 4 team last year. So they expect to do big things.
Well, when you have Nkrumah, when you have Harper the second. You've got guys that have done it at a high level before. And the fact that they did receive a one-place vote, that means that, you know, people are believing and counting on them to be in the upper echelon of the OVC. You know, Little Rock, obviously going to be a really good contender, Southeast Missouri. But in the end, with the type of coach that they've got, I expect that coaching prowess and that promise to maybe get them over the top and win a bunch of games that perhaps they shouldn't win.
Lost to SIUE in the semifinals by 2 points. SIUE eventually went to the NCAA tournament as the OVC representatives. They were that close. Getting back to an NCAA tournament for the first time since the 90s. Going to be right there in that hunt.
And it's good for the state of Tennessee. You know, when you have the likes of Tennessee and Memphis and Vanderbilt, you know, you've got Belmont. It's good for the state of Tennessee to see all of the schools do well.
And it's good to see two in-state teams like this match up with a non-conference. You know, something that you see, but it's hard to get every in-state team in from time to time. But this is the first time since 2015, Rick Barnes' first year at Tennessee.
And if you go back and you look at that 2015 basketball game, you go back and look at the score. That was a pretty close basketball game. So, you know, it's good to see Tennessee State in this environment, having met now. I guess this is their 7th time meeting. You'd like to see that number escalate just a little bit more.
And you might just with Nolan Smith at the helm. And he's looking to build this program up. His first year again. Really exciting hire. A jumper from the baseline. Good from Kavion Johns, redshirt freshman. Other end, Tennessee quickly answering. Kobe Gillespie too fast.
Kavion's done some hard work down there, having to defend, and it was good to see him get a clean look and knock that in.
Tennessee by 30. They have won their first 4 games by an average of 30.5. Another triple for Tennessee State off the mark is London. Tennessee State 3 of 21 from deep.
And those are shots that you can get in anytime in the shot clock. What you want to do right now, man, is work on your sets. Try to get a better look. Get your teammates involved.
Berg off the screen. Dwayne Brown, a spin move. Freshman looking smooth right now.
He just looks unfazed. Every time I've seen him thus far this year, he looks unfazed.
He shoots at a really high efficiency level. He's 3 for 5 tonight, Dwayne Brown. On the season, he's 10 for 13.
So he catches the ball right here, and he's looking for that little extra pass maybe to get it up. He sees that Akpara is covered. He looks in the corner. That's covered. So I can do it myself. I'll little spin move, little drop step, get to where I want and knock it down.
Well, the students here are cheering for Chick-fil-A. They won't get it that time. You got to miss 2 consecutive free throws in the second half. That's what the stakes are.
Everybody loves chicken.
They are unhappy with Mr. Antoine Lorick. Not this time, guys. Steve, is there any guy for Tennessee that you feel like is underrated right now that is going to maybe have more of an impact down the stretch?
My mind keeps going back to Amari. Because he can flat out do it on both ends of the floor. And because he can play defensively, that is going to catch the eye of Coach Barnes. So, you know, sometimes as a basketball player, you get in trouble. You may stop your opponent once, or I'm sorry, you may go down and score, but on the other end, if you don't stop your opponent, it doesn't equalize out, right? So if you're Coach Barnes, he's looking for a defensive presence every possession, and offensively, it's a bonus.
You see him staying in that starting lineup next week in Vegas?
I do.
Depends on who's available.
Depending, you know, on the fact that, you know, Bishop Boswell's out right now. You know, how quickly will he come back? Ethan Berg's got a lot to say about that. Troy Henderson's got something to say about that.
Corner three is off the mark from Harper the second. 14% from three, Tennessee State. Tennessee's defended them well. Gillespie has had more success in the paint tonight offensively. Looking for Brown off that pick and roll action. Dwayne Brown really having a good second half. Gets 2 shots.
Again, that's an experienced move right there. Little two-man action, pick and roll. Dwayne kind of rolls to the short a little bit, catches it right there, short corner. 1 dribble, 2 dribble, spin move. That's a grown man's move.
And he has the intangibles of a classic Rick Barnes forward. A guy who's smooth. You feel comfortable with the ball in his hands. Now, he did have 1 turnover where he couldn't corral it. But he feels like a guy that Rick Barnes loves to develop.
Coach Barnes could not have enough great things to say about him. I know I mentioned that in the first half, but he just continues to catch Coach Barnes' eye because of what he can do on both ends of the floor.
Harper the second, a quick 2 on the other end. Tennessee not able to get back. After the 2 free throws from Brown, Gillespie looking for his first 3, way off the mark. Dwayne Brown the board. Gillespie again. That time he's got it, finally.
Well, he's just too good of a shooter to continue to miss. You know, the next one is going in, and you got to have that mentality, and he's certainly blessed with that intangible, man, knowing that every time I shoot the ball, I believe, I've got the confidence that it's going to go in.
Hard screen from Tennessee State, and they get the 2 on the other side.
Really good pass.
Tigers starting to roll offensively. Berg wants a 3. He's already got 1 today. Can't hit. Dwayne Brown again working hard inside. He's going to get a foul called underneath.
You go back and look at the replay here with Jacoby. Good. You know, Dwayne Brown could have gone up with that, but he decides to pass it out. Ethan Berg with 1 extra pass to a shooter that, again, has the confidence to step up. Even though I missed my last one, I'm going to step up and knock this one down.
Chance for a very efficient outing for Dwayne Brown. He's played 11 minutes, and he's got 10 points. And it's a great sign when a guy like him, who can draw the foul inside, can hit his free throws 4 for 5.
Yeah, quickly becoming a fan favorite here on Rocky Top as well, because, you know, he's got that dog in him. Sometimes as a freshman, you come in, you're intimidated a little bit, you're trying to fill out, you know, what's my role, what am I going to be counted on to do night in and night out. And he's just coming into work. That's all he's going to do, just coming into work.
Tennessee by 34. Lorick on the drive, and he gets shooter's touch right there on the lay.
Yeah, a little shake and bake for Lorick. Went to the offhand. Very good move going to the basket.
The Tigers starting to get a bit more comfortable offensively, especially inside. Good sign as this game has progressed for Nolan Smith and his bunch. Phillips looking inside. Brown can't handle the heat.
And that was a tough look, right?
Lorick for 3. He's got it.
5 in a row for Lorick.
Offense starting to flurry for the Tigers here. A good sign that they're not quitting offensively in this ball game. Tennessee still leading by 29. Berg off the screen. Berg now inside, tries to go reverse, not quite.
I like the thought. The execution lacked a little bit.
Tigers looking for another bucket. Harris draws the foul, and we'll head to the line. Good stretch here for Tennessee State.
Very good stretch. They could use a little bit more of that in the waning moments of this basketball game.
Tennessee looking to start the season 5-0 in this homestand, open up the new year. Jacoby Gillespie will do it all evening. Tennessee by 29. You have to like what the Tennessee point guard has provided. Again, the final tune-up before you head to a big stretch of games.
It can be known as a pickpocket merchant. You know, he's going to get after you defensively, and you see their season high for Tennessee, 11 steals. They're going to get better and better defensively. And this right here leads, you know, when they have those droughts, Andy, if you can get steals, which lead to early opportunities, easy looks, man, it just helps your team get out of those droughts quicker.
No chicken for the students that time again. We're going to be watching that. It's a big second half storyline. 6-0 run right here for Tennessee State. Not bad. Tennessee looking to have a big response after the timeout.
But if you're Nolan Smith, you're wondering where this was about an hour ago. This type of effort, this type of tenacity on both ends of the floor.
To improve on both of these ends here. Just game 5 for both teams. Jalen Carey getting the whistle down low. That is foul number 5 on the big man.
Andy, that's a giveaway. So you only get a certain amount of opportunities in terms of fouls per game. You get 5 fouls. Those are valuable. But if you're someone like a Jalen Carey, then you've given up 2 of them tonight. So if you don't have those type of fouls, you're still in the ball game. You're still playing. But those are just giveaways.
Yeah, you want Carey, as physical as he is, to be physical, but limit the silly fouls, ones that'll hurt you. The crowd didn't know that was a 1-and-1. It was a lose-lose for him either way. Neiman got picked from behind. Sneaky move from Harper the second. Now he rises up, and oh my goodness.
Ooh,
look out.
Meet me at the top.
Wow.
Wow.
Akpara survived a near top 10 highlight.
Usually Felix is going to get the best of those, man, but that is a great contest at the rim.
That's one of those missed dunks where you're still fired up. Oh, but now he can't miss a second right here. All right.
Now the pressure's on here.
Felix saying, no big deal. No big deal. All right. You missed 2, the whole building gets chicken. And he missed it.
Wow.
Chicken for everyone.
Chicken for everyone.
Even you, Steve.
Hey, man.
Look at that.
I'm not opposed to chicken. I'll tell you that. I'm not opposed to that.
0 for 2. That's what you couldn't have. Tennessee State still on a 7-0 scoring run. Tennessee looking to end it. Gillespie up for Akpara. Can't handle it.
Again, he didn't catch it clean, Andy. You look at that right there. He didn't catch it clean.
Almost another near poster for Tennessee State. These Tigers are having fun right now.
This is the type, this is the type of ball game that we expected to see at the onset. You know, a couple of guys that are just going after it, man. Every opportunity, I'm going to go up and I'm going to try to rim rock it.
Those are 2 of the best missed dunks I've seen in a while.
But what this does, Andy, is that you may not win this basketball game if you're Nolan Smith, but it builds confidence for the future, because what you're doing is, okay, it was a 30-some-odd point deficit. Now it's cut to 26, right? You want to play to the absolute finish and make sure that, this bodes well for you in the future.
And if you're Tennessee State, you know you can rely on Nkrumah and Harper II. Those guys are ball players. They both over 14 points. And That's going to be huge for late in games. You got two experienced scorers like that.
Something tells me that there will be an SC top 10 moment in Harper's future this year. I believe it. I'm not a soothsayer. I'm not a fortune teller, but man, I can sense that he's going to find someone and make them a victim this year.
Question on the other end for Tennessee is as they're trying to end their scoring shot here. It's been about 2.5 minutes that they do the Burke free throw. But what is something, Steve, that maybe you believe about this team right now that by the end of the season is not going to be the case? What's going to make you eat your words?
And that's a wonderful question, very thought-provoking. But the first thing that pops to my mind is Tennessee is not a great on-ball defending team right now. We've seen it a lot where they get blown by, where, through the use of a ball screen, Tennessee kind of gets in rotation, leading to open looks. So they may not be the type of guard your yard team right now that you're going to see at the end of the game or end of the season.
What is the phrase for that? Eats crow? Hoping Steve eats crow with that saying, right?
Yeah, and I may very well eat that. Eat the crow, and I'll live up to it, and I'll own it. But they've got to get better. I was at Tennessee basketball practice just yesterday watching them go through their paces, and they worked on time and time again guarding the ball.
Para, not quite. Phillips. Now Tennessee just looking for some clean basketball, some clean looks. They haven't hit a field goal from the floor in 4 minutes.
Yeah, and this is something that is something that's quite bothersome. You as a basketball player have to understand, I don't care what the score is. For me, it's 0-0. I got to give my best effort every single time. So just because you're up by 25 doesn't mean that you can take bad looks or not take care of the basketball. You got to do the little things to set yourself up to be in a position to where if it's an Elite 8 game, Sweet 16 game, those same mistakes don't rear their ugly head again.
On par, able to get two to end that field goal stretch. Henderson looking for Abram and gives it away. It's turnover number 16 for Tennessee.
And you just don't have to make that pass, and experience is a teacher. So in the future, he won't make that pass because you're forcing it.
Yeah, it's easy to say turnovers is a problem, but realistically, how do you fix that aside from just saying, I'll make smart passes?
Well, Coach Barnes has a saying that the bench is a teacher. The bench is very much so a teacher.
Wide open layup after another Tennessee giveaway. That is 18.
So we talk about what you want to see to finish a basketball game. This is not what you want to see if you're Coach Barnes to finish a basketball game. And I know you got guys in there that don't have a whole lot of experience, like a Clarence Masamba, doesn't crack the column in terms of a lot of playing time. But you got to take care of the little things first and foremost.
Turkey Day's right around the corner, a week from today, Steve. It's one of our favorite holidays, right?
Yeah, man, Turkey Day is one of my favorite, and perhaps we'll get to all the accoutrements here just shortly at the dinner table. Yep. So it's definitely one of my favorite days.
You have to answer that question, if you could have anyone.
Yeah, mine was stolen. It was stolen because I would love to have a conversation at the Thanksgiving Day table with Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be incredible?
It would be incredible. The impact in which he had on so many different people across our world, and the fact that his life was cut short at 39 years of age. You think, what would he have done if he had lived a lot longer? What about yours?
That was a really good one. I feel bad because I was going the food route. I want Gordon Ramsay to make something special. Well, I need him in the kitchen. I need him to. No offense to any of the family cooks. But let's get Gordon Ramsay in there and really chef something up. Sarah there, does she want to provide her answer?
You know, Andy, you're just going to have to follow me here, but I couldn't decide. I have 3. Princess Diana, Harry Styles, and Candace Parker.
I didn't know we got 3. You have to choose one between those 3, Sarah.
That's too hard, Andy.
Pick
Come
one.
on, they all provide a lot of different personalities. They bring a lot to the table. You could sing, you get a history lesson. We could go take some shots in the backyard after dinner. I don't know. That's too hard of a question.
They bring a lot to the table.
Aha, I see what you did there.
Where's Candace?
Well done. Well done.
You didn't say Chris Lofton, whose banner is also up there. Allison, our producer, said Adele, by the way. And Walt Disney, so I guess we're just all doing more than one.
Yeah, I thought this was just a singular question.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I don't know if we're playing by the rules here.
I don't think so.
What does our director, Justin, think? We'll have to wait. Justin says Jay-Z.
That's strong. That's really strong.
Now, I wonder if you're inviting Adele or Jay-Z, are they performing or are they just a dinner guest?
Do they want to be there?
Do they want? Yeah, well, that's also the question. Do they even want to be there?
Yeah, because I believe the pressure's on for them to perform, not just their team.
That's true. Allison says no. We want her storytelling. Okay.
Tennessee, Coach Barnes is kind of empty in the bench a little bit. Getting a good look at a lot of guys that haven't played a whole lot. And again, this is a live audition, so you put it on tape, and the tape doesn't lie. Hey, the tape will tell you that I gave everything, or the tape will also tell you that, man, I could have worked a little bit harder.
All right, Abram draws the foul. Clarence Masamba in. Mari Evans, freshman in. Tennessee giving everyone a chance to get some time in this one. Again, you're about to hit a increasingly difficult stretch. You've got Rutgers on Monday. Then #1 Houston, rematch of the Elite Eight. We talk about 2 powerhouse schools in the last few years. Tennessee and Houston are 2 of 3 schools to make the last 3 Sweet 16s. And then you have a TBD game against obviously what's going to be another good program, and then it doesn't get much easier at Syracuse, Illinois, a neutral site, and then home against Louisville.
Yeah, and the thing about that schedule is that's a challenging schedule in and of itself, but this will be the last time that Tennessee fans will be able to see, Tennessee basketball on this home court in almost a month. So you talk about the challenge of not only going out to Las Vegas and playing against the best competition in all of the country, but then you follow that up with a Louisville, you follow that up with a Syracuse, you follow that up with an Illinois. So they're going to be tested.
That's exactly what Rick Barnes typically has done with this Tennessee team. They play the best, whether that is a Turkey Time tournament or road game. They went to Illinois last year. Wayne Brown can't finish with Samba trying to follow it up.
That was a really good move by Dwayne Brown. Just kind of left it short. I'm really impressed with this Tennessee State Tiger basketball team, man. They fought hard. A little undersized, in terms of the matchup, man, but they're still going after it, attacking the glass. Could have used a little bit more of that in the first half, maybe stay in the game a little bit longer, but they have kind of found their way here in the second half by just attacking the basket.
A similar stretch for Tennessee State. They're not home again until December 18th, so they've got another tough one at UNC Asheville. They'll participate in the Coke Classic down at Chattanooga. So they're on the road for a good while as well.
I fully expect Andy for this team to make a run. I like the makeup that Nolan Smith's got here. He may be frustrated right now in thinking that his team could have performed a little bit better, and perhaps they should have performed a little bit better. But games like this bode well for your future because these guys keep fighting. They go after it. They're physical. They're tough. They're not going to back down from anyone. So look out, OVC, man. The TSU Tigers coming.
Yeah, very encouraging end to this game. Tennessee State definitely had an adjustment period with how physical this Tennessee team is. By far their toughest challenge so far. Some of the threes started falling in the second half. Evans to the rim, a good take. Freshman will shoot too.
Very good take from Amari Evans. You know, he's got the broad shoulders. He can handle that physicality too. Don't forget about him being on the bench. You know, he wants to carve out some of that playing time of his own.
Knocks in the free throw. Talented freshman from Pittsburgh. Among a pretty talented freshman class that Tennessee's brought in. To play. Harper the second is showing some of his skills in this one. That's another good three. He's got 17.
Good looking jumper from Harper. Thought he could have passed the ball on the inside there, had a mismatch, but man, he just rose up, knocked that one down.
Whistled something dead after that three. Might be a clock issue.
I think they got it fixed. The shot clock for reset.
Here we go. Tennessee State able to cut it to 27. They're in the dying embers. Wayne Brown to the rim. Wow. We've seen a couple of massive dunk attempts in this one.
Freshman, man. Yeah. You know, he can handle the ball too. You know, when you see that paint, when you see the C's split as the TSU defense did, man, I'm going to go challenge that rim. Whoever's there may pay the price.
What is that, 4 massive dunk attempts that have been so close? Wayne Brown, this is a season, which this is his first, so it's a career high now, 12 points.
We talked about the fact that Wayne, it's going to be hard to keep him on the bench. It really is, because Coach Barnes has a belief in this kid, got that dog in him. He's going to get after it every night.
Harper the second, no good. Tennessee rebound. And the Vols cruise tonight. 5-0 start before a really fun stretch of play to come. 5 players in double figures for this Tennessee team. And again, their final game here on Rocky Top for a good while.
Yeah, so your final tune-up, you did what you had to do. You cleaned up a few things. You put some good runs together. Now the real challenge, the second season begins. And I think this Tennessee team is up to the task.
29-point victory for the Vols. And another fun night for this Tennessee team. Toby Gillespie shines, Nate Amen 15 points. We say so long from Knoxville. Steve Hamer, Danny Brock, and the rest of our crew. We say good night from Knoxville.